All right, thanks guys, and welcome here to Studio A, where I will give you an update on what was a busy week in the GPAC. Probably the biggest game of the week was the Northwestern and Morningside game. Now, if we look at the NAIA standings from last week, we see that Northwestern actually rose 3 spots from number 10 into number 7, while Morningside, they fell from number 5 down to number 9. This was a big game, had a lot of impact, both nationally and in the conference. We'll look at some of the numbers here. As in the first half, it was very even, about as even as you can get without it being perfectly tied, as it was a 38-36 lead. Now the Mustangs, they needed to come back a little bit as Northwestern came out red hot in the second half, coming out on a 17-4 run over the first 3 minutes to open a 53-42 lead. Now Morningside, they answered with a 15-3 run of their own and took the lead once again at 57-56 on a three-pointer with 12:14 to go. From there, it was back and forth. Northwestern held a 70-69 lead with less than 5 minutes to go when the Mustangs took the lead for good on a pair of free throws with 4:51 left to make it 71-70, and the final of that game would then become 76-74. Looking at some of the numbers for Northwestern, Kendra DeJong led the Red Raiders with 22 points and 9 rebounds, and Cammie Kuhlman had 17 points on 7 of 19 shooting. Some of the numbers for Morningside is Shelby Bodette led the Mustangs in scoring with 21 points on 7 of 12 shooting, and Hannah Blum had 11 points and a career-high 9 rebounds coming off the bench. Some more numbers for the Mustangs. Chelsea Trask had 18 points, including the 2 free throws with less than 5 minutes to go, and Brittany Alfredson added 12 points of her own. So right there, that means that the GPAC standings were impacted immediately. And throw that in with the Hastings-Doane game, and we were sure to see a big shakeup in the GPAC standings. Let's take a look at those now, as Concordia was idle on Wednesday, so their record remains the same as it was on our Wednesday's broadcast, as they are now 10-2 in the conference. Big win for them, though, on Thursday as they went to Omaha and defeated the University of Nebraska-Omaha. Briarcliff slides up 1 spot to number 2 after their victory against Nebraska Wesleyan, like Dan mentioned earlier. Northwestern and Morningside, after that game, Northwestern takes a 3 spot and Morningside is 4. They are tied at 9-3. Northwestern has a slight edge in the tiebreaker because of a better overall record. In the 6th spot, Hastings is at 7-5 with a 15-6 overall record. Doane slides down with a record of 6-6, 10-7 overall, which is a better record than Mount Marty, who is also 6-6 and 11-9 overall. Dakota Wesleyan was idle on Wednesday, so they are 4-7 in the conference, 13-8 overall. Dordt lost to Mount Marty, and they slide down a spot at the 3-9 record. And Nebraska Wesleyan, after that loss to Briarcliff, goes down to 2-10. And Midland was also idle on Wednesday after their game against the Bulldogs on Tuesday night. So there you have it. It pretty much means that every game from here on out is going to have some sort of implications in the GPAC standings. That's going to do it for me here in Studio A. We're going to take a quick break, but after that, Dan will take a look at some of the players to watch for as well as some of the keys to the game. But before we go to that break, here's some of the highlights from the Doane game.